we haven't met before, my name is Kat. It is lovely to meet you. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about Hygge activities that you can try this autumn. Now, I have here with me the little book of Hygge, just to help give a little definition. Hygge has been translated as everything from the art of creating intimacy to coziness of the soul to taking pleasure from the presence of soothing things. Now, before we go any further, if you love this kind of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe so that you get updates on future content in this kind of style. Without further ado, let's begin. There is a saying here in Scotland which is, there's no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothes. So that totally encompasses a lot of the ideas that I've got here. The first one is to go for a hike or a long walk and bring a flask of hot coffee or tea with you to have at the top as you're enjoying the view. Now, this is just such a cozy thing to do, just the idea of having the fresh air on your face and looking out to a gorgeous view while drinking something warm to keep you nice and cozy. It just encompasses such a beautiful feeling. That being said, most of my hikes in Scotland have felt a little bit miserable and rainy, but it makes coming inside afterwards all the cozier and all the more hygge in the end. Number 2 is to go wild swimming in a loch or a lake and hop into a sauna or a hot tub afterwards. There's just something about being out in nature and experiencing the icy, chilly water followed by a cozy time in a sauna. If you don't have access to a sauna or a hot tub, you could even just come home and jump in the bath. This is a more home-based thing, but definitely still nature-inspired, and that is to decorate your home using outdoorsy elements. So that might be things like indoor houseplants, wooden elements, foraging for nature elements to bring inside, or even some landscape photographs to just remind you of the great outdoors. Another thing to do is to create a more sustainable home, and even if it's not necessarily directly nature in your home, the very act of creating a more sustainable home where you've got more reusable things is honouring to nature and to the environment around us as well. Now, one of the things at the core of Hygge is to spend time with loved ones. So one of my favourite things to do is to invite a friend over or my fiance over, and we choose a recipe together, and then we go out shopping, maybe to a farmer's market outside, and then we pick all the ingredients out together and spend like a whole afternoon cooking something delicious, maybe something a wee bit more adventurous that we might not usually try. Sometimes I can get into total cooking ruts, so it's a really beautiful way to explore and just have a really cozy Hygge afternoon, put on some nice music and have some nice chat. So another beautiful thing that you can do with loved ones is to have a cozy pamper day. Maybe get some hand lotions, nail polish, do your nails, get some homemade face masks, and just put on calming music and have an at-home spa day. This is a really cheap, low-cost way to pamper yourself and have a fun time with some friends. Now, of course, it wouldn't be Hygge without candles, but I'm going to go a step further from just saying light some candles. Maybe you could try making candles. All you need are some wax melts, some wicks, and some kind of container. Personally, I have in the past made candles from teacups and all kinds of different things. You don't even need a lot to make them, and it's actually pretty quick to do as well, so that could be a fun Hygge afternoon activity. Now, I mentioned this in last week's video, which is all about autumn and fall ideas, and that is to declutter your living space. One of the things about Hygge is that less is more. It's more about the experiences and the people. What better way to embrace that than to let go of some of the material possessions that you don't really need anymore. You could even donate them to a charity shop, or you could give them to a friend, and that's a nice act of kindness thrown into the mix as well. Another lovely foodie idea is to have a themed foodie afternoon. The thing I've got on my list here, which I really want to do this autumn, is to host a cosy British tea party complete with scones, sandwiches and baked treats. I think what's so lovely about this is that there's an intentionality behind it, and there's a lot of fun and adventure in trying something new and just creating a cosy atmosphere. British tea parties are often a wee bit more of a summery thing, but I'm all for bringing it into autumn as well and putting a wee bit of a fall spin on it. Okay, this next one is really one to awaken your inner child, and that is to build a blanket fort and play games inside of it. There's something so fun about creating a blanket fort. It's something that so many of us did as kids, and while it's not maybe necessarily mentioned in the little book of Hygge as being a core part of Hygge, I think that playfulness and childlikeness really encompasses a lot of this kind of concept. The final Hygge activity for autumn is very simple, but just really encompasses it, and that is to have a snuggle with a loved one or a pet. There's just something so cozy about getting held in a hug and hugging someone back and just imparting your love in that way. Maybe you could even stick a movie on or read a book and just snuggle up and enjoy being together. I think that especially what with COVID, we've not had the same kind of personal touch that we've always had and taken for granted. So making time to just have a hug with people or with animals is a beautiful way to release that serotonin and have a super cozy time in the fall. I hope that you enjoyed this Hygge activities to try this autumn video. I've really enjoyed chatting about it. I've wanted to do a Hygge video for a wee while, but I was waiting for the autumn season to come around to do it. If you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely love last week's video, which was cozy fall ideas to warm the heart. So I definitely recommend you check it out. I'll leave a link on the end screen, so click on that and head on over there. If you're new here, do consider subscribing if you enjoyed this content, and remember to like the video. Until next time, it was lovely to have you here.